So I'm Jaden, and I'm here with Brett.
Are we live?
I
Oh,
think we're
wait,
live.
wait. We're live now.
Yeah, see, told you. I
There
know
we
what
go.
I'm
I'm
doing.
muted.
Oh yeah, we don't want. Oh man, feedback echoes are the worst.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna put out some social media calls, and then we're gonna get to painting because that's what we're here for. Doot 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 doot. Share to the painting group. Is it abuse of my moderator or admin powers if I tag everybody whenever I post that we're going live with something?
I wouldn't tag him this late.
That's fair. I don't entirely understand people that have um, like loud notifications on for things like this, but
Well, not everyone is as tech savvy as us, and even I was having trouble with threads this morning.
that's true. That's true. All right, cool. All the socials are out of the way. You know what? I probably need to do still. I probably need to adjust my white balance and then make it never change while this is on because this thing is a good little camera, but boy does it. Yeah, there it is. White balance is all messed up. Okay, let's have a look at the most saturated thing I've got here. And let's just make that, let's call that good. Alright, and let's turn off autofocus because last stream we learned that autofocus is the devil. And I'm going to be painting right about here. So let's just focus in on that. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Lower.
hey. LOS Iron Kingdom's Requiem one shot.
Is that VOD still up?
No, that's what this one's called.
Oh, is it? I can't figure out how to make Twitch through um, Streamlabs actually do what it's supposed to do, which is very irritating. But I need to look into how to do that because yeah, it's frustrating that that's not labeled correctly. All right, so I'm for those of you, do we have any viewers right now? I'm assuming we've got at least you, right?
Hmm.
So for those of you that aren't already aware, the reason that I'm painting a siege breaker, even though I don't play as ISA, is because we're trying to make Chandler paint an awful paint scheme.
Well, the paint scheme's good. That's not the problem.
You're right. We're trying to make Chandler paint a difficult paint scheme.
Yes.
Yeah. So, uh, as you can see up in the top left corner here, this is like I did this in Photoshop, um, sort of idea of what we're going to do with the paint scheme. I've sort of mapped it all out. And here's the actual model. Um, Pro tip for something like this where the gun is so blastedly close to the leg, I assembled it with blue tack because I don't want to try and paint between those two things. That sounds like the worst thing in the world. And blue tack is actually stable enough that I think I could have played with this just fine and it wouldn't have been a problem. But yeah. So Brett, you're working on building some Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures tonight.
I mean, building is a strong word.
You are
I'm
attempting to manhandle
I'm
Shuri.
removing things from sprues and screaming. Does that count?
I guess so.
Like, these pieces just don't go together at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Um, all right. Well, I think what my plan of attack is going to be like is we're gonna probably start with the green because there's more of it, and I have like a good solid P3 line of colors picked out for it. Um, One of the things that made this a lot harder for me actually is that I'm trying to use P3 paints because I know Chandler has P3 paints, and I had to go find all of mine because I haven't been using them very much. So let's look at, let's make this picture bigger, and let's talk about the colors that I'm going to use. So specifically the green. So this base color, we're going to use Gnarls Green, and I think we're going to mix a little bit of black and a little bit of white into it, and that's going to dull it down slightly. And then the mid-tone, we're just going to mix some white in, and then the high tone, we're going to mix a little bit more white in. Normally, I would recommend using different colors, and it's possible that the high tone is actually just like frostbite mixed in. That's actually very possible looking at it. But because we're going for a desaturated color here, we're just going to live with not following the advice I give people, and rolling with some white, as it were. Yeah. Fun fact, if you want your paint jobs to be really intense and bright and beautiful, don't add white for your highlights. And actually...
Wait, why is that?
Oh, because white makes things lighter, but it also removes their intensity. It dulls down the...
like you're thinning them out?
Yeah. It's like... So, consider like that this green color has, say, like 30% of its volume is pigment, which would be pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
White pigment effectively adds no pigment or pigmentation as far as like color intensity goes. And so if you add white to something, it just makes it lighter. It doesn't actually like increase the intensity of it at all. It decreases it because the ratio of like the color you've got to what you then highlight up goes down.
Okay. This is for mixing purposes.
Yeah. And
so
it's also
doing like a white highlight.
Yeah, doing like a white edge highlight is fine. Stuff like that, absolutely. But it was actually really interesting. If you look at the what's the word? The thumbnail. Yeah, color theory, exactly. If you look at the thumbnail and you look at the top left colors, that's all of the like metals. If I decide to do this non-metallic metals like a crazy person, the brightest highlight is actually like about the same brightness as the mid-tone, but it's yellow instead of blue, and so it stands out a lot. Which is really cool. It was nice to get back to like... Yeah, exactly. If you use a sepia tone, it makes it look older because it's desaturated and weird.
Because there's white mixed in?
Because it kind of just like flattens everything out similarly to white.
Okay.
This is actually like one of the main reasons that I really love the Chimera paints that I've got, because if you paint with P3 paints, for example, or like basically any major paint brand, you are using paint that is already whitened or has some white mixed into it. Because the other thing that white paint does is it increases the opacity of whatever it is that you're painting with. Which sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually easier to paint white over black in a lot of cases than black over white, because white paint's real opaque.
And black isn't?
Black kind of is, but the thing is, it'll show the white through a lot more than the white will let the black show through. It's a fascinating thing to test, because like that sounds counterintuitive, right? But...
Well, my intuition about painting is wrong, so you can tell me whatever you want.
It also, that's a really good trick for like people really hate painting like all of the lighter tones, like yellow and orange.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just base coat with like the color with white mixed in, it covers really nicely, and then you can go over with the pure color afterwards, and it will cover that pretty well too, because they're so similar already.
Okay, I have a lot of trouble with reds like that. So
red would also follow those rules pretty well. Or what I do when I'm painting red right now usually is I add a whole bunch of black to it and make like a maroon, and then go up from there. So, which is pretty nice. I don't mind that at all. One of the great things about having already decided what my color scheme is going to look like is I don't actually have to think about where I'm placing any colors right now. I'm just sort of like, this part I said was going to be green, so I will paint it green.
Right, and you already have all your mixes picked out.
Yeah, at least for the green, which is why I started with it, because I'm prepared for that. But yeah, it's actually kind of annoying because the concept art shows almost none of the leg, so it was like, I don't know. Maybe.
What are those materials supposed to be?
Right, yeah. We're just like, what am I gonna paint like I didn't even really like think about what the shape of the contours were gonna look like. And now I'm having to make decisions on the fly, and I'm like, this defeats the whole purpose. But that's okay. We love it anyway. Or at least I think it was worth the 30 minutes I spent futzing around. Okay.
Well, next time you gotta do the based on the 3D render, the rotational render.
Oh no, please no. I'm not proficient enough in 3D modeling to do that. Yeah, the Siegebreaker is just an incredible model. Like, looking at it right here, I'm just like, I want to play ISA even though I don't really want to play ISA. Brett plays ISA.
Does he?
I mean, Brett owns...
Haven't actually played a game.
Oh, really? Hey, we played the first non-Privateer Press game of Warcaster ever in the world.
That's true.
And we streamed it, and it's on our YouTube channel. You can go find it, back when we didn't even have a rulebook to look at.
Oh, there it is. Did we do it on Vassal the first time?
Yes, we did do it on Vassal.
So we hate ourselves?
Well, there wasn't anything else to do it on. Wartable didn't exist. We hadn't caused it to be.
My God. All right, that piece is gone.
Oh no, which one was it?
The like lower jaw of her gauntlets.
Oh yeah. Don't they
Why
say
is
two
that?
of each of those?
Yeah, that's why I'm willing to let it just be gone.
Yeah. So here's my advice for that: clip the sprue like a couple of millimeters above where the connection point actually is, and then you've got a bigger handle to hold on to while you're painting.
Oh, for painting purposes?
No, for gluing it together purposes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it's too late now.
Oh no, Brett, why?
Because I did the first one.
That's fair. No, this is really interesting. There's like... So parts of the model are much, much more detailed than the render, or the concept art. But then there's parts of the concept art that have details that the model just does not have. So like the... I don't know what to call this. The ISA, like, backpack...
Wing thing?
Wing thing. Yeah. It should have, according to the concept art, like a couple of lines on it, and like a material division at some point. Hey, JP's here. Hi, JP. How's it going? But yeah, there's like, it's just... Oh wait, hold on a minute. I said this was gonna be a different color. Okay, so I'm gonna stop painting that color green, or that part green. Oh no, and this bit wasn't even in the concept art. It was just behind it. What have I done? We're gonna paint that color cream because
backsides of models, Jaden's only weakness.
So, yeah. I mean, so here's the funny thing is that normally when I paint models, I paint the backside way prettier than the front because that's the bit I'm going to be looking at most of the time. Which is why I have an affinity for freehanding stuff on cloaks.
Rather than flags.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not too late to buy a second one of these. They got released like a couple of days ago. Do they just kill dudes? I haven't gotten a chance to like actually play with or against this model yet.
They can do one big shot, but I mean, that's pretty good for a solo.
Yeah, but they also have the make all your attacks rule that the Marauders got, right?
Right, they can either do all of their shots and kill a bunch of troops, or they can take one big boosted shot. It's actually pretty cool. Am I gonna play MCP? I don't know. Depends on how well it goes in Austin.
That's fair. MCP is really fun. Yeah, vessels really hate any kind of blasts. Brett is picking up MCP. He's building Shuri right now. Because I am the worst influence in the world. Turns out.
I need to make new friends.
That's true.
Okay, her gauntlets just aren't pointing in the same direction. And at this point, I don't care.
That's perfectly reasonable. Yeah, she is a tough model to build, like, absolutely. I concur. She was much harder to build than I was expecting her to be. Which is annoying, because she's also really good.
Well, I got lulled into a false sense of security because I started with much newer models.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I started with the core box, so I just kind of understood what I was getting into from day one. Yeah, she is very good in Avengers. She's very good wherever she ends up, honestly. Like, she's just really good.
All right. So since we're on the topic of MCP,
Uh-huh.
how the fuck do you paint these? Like, they're never going to be cohesive.
I mean, okay. Hold on, I'll get some of mine out and I'll show you. So what I did, I opted for the bases are all similar.
Mm-hmm.
And then I painted all of the base rims a slightly off black that is just off black enough that you can tell it's not black. Um, that will sort of like make sure everybody can see that they're mine. I don't think Richie's on the stream right now slash yet slash tonight. I don't think he's here with us.
Oh God,
Did you lose another one?
no. I was worried after that though.
Yeah. So, fun random fact: the only sprue bit that I've lost was not an MCP model. It was a Terminator shoulder pad. It just disappeared. I'm not sure where it went. I managed, well, actually, because I knew that the MCP models were so like monstrously difficult to assemble, I just kind of was really careful. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you'll be like that's the thing about superheroes, especially like the Web Warriors, is they've all got. Actually, no, they don't. They don't have
No,
many colors
yeah,
in
they're all
common.
different.
Okay, hold on. Let's pull out
One's
some of
white,
mine.
one's purple, two are black and white.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know. I also have like a pretty particular painting style at this point, so like my models sort of always look like they go together.
So I saw someone painting in like a super comic booky style for Riot Quest.
Yes, that guy has also done a bunch of MCP stuff, and they look great.
Is that hard to do?
Not really. He's got a bunch of YouTube videos up that you could
Oh, yeah.
watch.
Okay.
It's a lot of like. So it's not like really hard to do it, technically speaking, except for the last step where you're inking stuff. That's really hard.
Okay.
Because you have to do it very precisely. You could probably do that step with a pen. Um,
Uh, yeah, I have a white pen. I can get more.
yeah, but he says that it feels cheap to do it with a pen because comic books were always inked with a brush, which is
Okay.
logic that I can actually respect. So
Yeah, but I cheat. So
yeah, that's fair. I'm just saying I respect the logic because it tracks for me.
okay, so I just do whatever. Like a lot of these people don't have alternate color schemes,
That's true.
and so I just do whatever they are, and do like a uniting element at the bottom or like a style that makes them unique.
Yeah. Um, pretty much. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Shaky camera because I'm maneuvering a a battle foam bag around. All right, so yeah, and it's. Oh no, oh no. Okay, that just about gave me a heart attack. Okay, so who do you want to see first? I got Daredevil, Venom,
I want to.
Miles.
Well, you know I love your Venom because
Okay, sure.
90% don't sell.
Yeah, it is. It's inspired by the '90s like cartoon because they did this to him a lot. Let's get this in focus.
Yeah,
Uh,
because his color scheme is fucking boring.
it is. So like, yeah, I don't know. This guy doesn't have anything on his base like the other guys because there's just OSL everywhere.
1 second.
Um, but I did put Uhu glue on his tongue and it looks really gross,
Nice.
which I'm a big fan of. Man, why does video stuff always look better than um, taking pictures of things?
There's a lot of GP. Graphics cards do a lot of smoothing,
Oh, that's true.
but you have to do manually with photos.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, so that's my Venom. Um, for everybody
Okay, see
else,
now, see now that, so now you're bringing him into the scheme because you're adding reds and blues.
yeah, that was also an unintentional but excellent benefit. I think Gwen is the first one that I was really like consciously putting road markings on the base, so you can see here like this is a bike lane, and I continued this scheme because I did her after Miles and after Peter, and so there's like a lot of things after her also got road stuff on the base. But you can see here this isn't true black on the base rim either. It's just sort of off black.
Grayish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coal black basically, just like out of the pot.
Yeah.
I also did a lot of things like I put my things on the road and put the sidewalks next to them because a lot of people just sort of put them on a gray thing, and I found that if you put them on the road, then your models all look unique and together because most people just put them on the
Wait,
sidewalk.
the symbol is white.
Oh no no no! Oh no no! I'm using sorry. I'm
What the
using
fuck?
I'm using what's the word? The PlayStation game Spider-Man scheme.
Okay.
No, his scheme is black. So don't worry, you're fine. But
I'm
I
very
just
confused.
I really like the way it looks. That's all.
Yeah.
And it
Like
was
my whole life was a lie. Okay, so for some of the more popular characters, I can find alternate costumes like this
mhm.
to try and put them in better. But like Enchantress is green. That's her whole thing.
Enchantress is green. Yeah.
She's even green in the DC universe, where it's a different character.
Yeah. Yeah. And Miles is always black and red, pretty much. Um, I didn't put him on the road because it was like he's got a newspaper stand.
Yeah.
Why would that be on the road?
Yeah.
But I put Iron Man on the side of his base because I was having fun,
Mhm.
or on the side of his mailbox.
Outside the mailbox, that's funny.
Yeah. And I also gave him electric hands because he's got electric hands, and it
Oh,
felt
you
like-
went to yellow. Interesting.
yeah.
What? Oh, wait. So wait. I can just not wait. This isn't a historical war game. I can just do whatever color scheme I want.
Yeah, you can. Hold on a sec, Brett. You're cutting out a little bit. I'm gonna mute this real fast. It might be my headset. I pulled it pretty hard. So 1 second. I'm gonna try and fix that. Where are you, Streamlabs? There you are. Hold on. Okay, Brett, try to say something.
Something.
Nope, that did not. That did not work. Apparently, we're supposed to call Chandler.
I added him.
Okay. Why don't you try hanging up and calling back and seeing if that fixes it?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Here, I'm just gonna call both of them actually. You get to listen to the Skype ringtone, aren't you all excited? Uh-oh, something happened.
Yeah, something terrible was going on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened. Brett was having severe audio problems, and I don't know why.
Oh no, I did a bad thing. Oh. Forgot. I had the stream audio on. I was like, good. I hear like 4 Jadens now. This is great.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. All right. I don't know what happened to Brett, and hopefully we'll get him back. Cause
yeah, I was watching the stream. His audio was going all kinds of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Try again.
Still terrible.
Still terrible. Yep. Are you using a computer microphone or a like a standalone microphone?
I am using a computer microphone. No, I'm using like the headset, the same one I record with.
Try unplugging it and plugging it back in.
Okay. Let me make sure it's using.
Right. Turning it off.
Yep. Default response. Or reboot the PC. Oh man, I hope it doesn't come to that.
It's a nice green. What green is that?
This is Gnarls green. I attempted really hard to use nothing but P3 paints for this.
Nice. Is that all you've done so far? Is that just base coating Gnarls green?
Yeah.
Hey, is this better?
That is much better.
Okay. Yeah, I turned off the automatically adjust microphone settings.
Oh yes, always have that off because Skype is terrible at automatically adjusting your microphone.
Yeah. So Chandler, what I've done so far is I've painted a bunch of this Gnarls green, and then Brett had me show a bunch of Marvel Crisis Protocol minis off. So we did that too.
Well, apparently now, I'm supposed to do this scheme, so I need to know each step.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm taking a video of it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks. One Bales one. So my plan is, if you look at my palette here, I've got Gnarls green, I've got Frostbite, I've got a little bit of white, and I've got a little bit of black. And so I'm going to mix some Frostbite into this. I'm going to do it right now. Watch me do this. Make the entire world shake, because, yeah, I mix aggressively.
I would like to point out that within the first 5 minutes of us streaming, I managed to both injure myself and lose a piece.
That's
nice.
Amazing.
Your audio also going crap, too.
It is. Oh, hey, Chris. Yeah, he injured himself on Shuri, apparently. All right, so I've mixed in, like, I don't know, 35-40% Frostbite with the screen. And now I'm just going to, like...
It's so funny to me when you're playing War Machine, you're 100% math analytical, but when you're in artist mode, it's just like meh, whatever I feel like.
Yeah, you sound like a robot again, Brett. I don't know what's going on with your audio, but it's not good.
It would be one thing if it was like a cool robot.
Yeah, like if it was
it's like a really low budget robot.
Yeah. So I'm honestly just gonna layer this sucker, because I don't know. Lately I've been kind of out on blending. I don't know why, but it's just like I don't really feel like I need to do it very often anymore. So I don't, and I haven't really missed it. I cost you. Oh no! Did you actually buy that ISA, Chris? Okay, so look at this. I'm a terrible influence on my friends. I got Brett playing Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I got Chris playing Warcaster.
Is this better?
No. I have no idea what's going on, Brett. Is there like a Google function for I sound like a robot on Skype? Does your headset plug in on two sides?
What?
Like, so my headset plugs into the headset, and then also plugs into the PC.
Yeah.
Did you try unplugging both of them?
Okay.
Yeah, give that a shot.
We're just hitting buttons at this point.
Yeah, you're on Diagnostics of Sight.
Yeah.
The War Machine.
Better or worse?
That's better.
Well, this is much better. This is the thing too. We have virtually no audio issues prior to recording Cat, right? Like, we typically just get on and record, and then it's like, oh, a live thing, time to go to shit for no reason.
Yeah.
I am on a completely new setup.
Oh yeah. That's
true. Okay.
So.
I'm on a Mac.
Yeah, and it's fuzzing a little bit. It's interesting because it's almost like your headset has a loose-ish connection at something, and like you replug it in and it gets a lot better, and then it gets shaken loose over time or something.
Should I switch to the built-in microphone, or is that much worse?
Give it a try, I guess.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, usually my instinct is much worse, but honestly,
how's this?
Better.
Now you sound like the Overlord dude from Power Rangers.
Is that bad?
No, it's just really funny.
It's much more functional. It does not hurt my ears. It's not good quality, but it's not painful. So
yeah,
that is a decided improvement.
Yep.
Zordon, yes.
I thought you meant like the StarCraft overlords. I'm like, what?
No.
It's like, what? What does that mean?
No.
It's hard to say.
Commentate on me painting like it's a boxing match. I mean, I guess he can do that if he wants to. It's funny though, because he'll be like on the chat timeline, which is about 3 or 4 seconds behind, but he'll be commentating on it in real time, so it'll be like behind what I'm doing. It'll be weird.
Yeah. Don't really have much visual bandwidth.
Yeah. Hey, Sabra. All right,
hey,
so Yeah. I'm going to do a second layer of this exact same color because that's the annoying thing about painting with like layers is that sometimes it doesn't actually do anything. I don't know if you can tell like looking at the screen, but let me see where I can get a good angle.
So are we gonna give like channel points to people who can guess what the scheme is based on?
Oh, we could.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, you do. I sent you the
What
card.
do you do? I told you.
I told you. I sent you images.
Telling me something is meaningless.
That's fair. JP, this scheme is going to be painted almost entirely with P3 paints. It is not Gundam.
That was a good guess.
It's not the Green Ranger either.
Is it the Yellow Ranger?
No. It's not a Power Ranger at all.
Oh. I was going to guess the red one.
No.
Figured I'd get there.
Get there eventually. Just go through the rainbow of Rangers.
I honestly don't remember what you said.
That's fair.
I have no memory of this thing.
He could scroll up the chat and figure it out, but
you could scroll up in the chat.
I don't think you understand. I'm tanking a dungeon right now.
Oh. All right. Fair enough.
Very important.
It's very important.
High priority.
Nice. The olive bar at Safeway? No, I didn't even know there was an olive bar at Safeway.
That was my next get now.
All right. Can you get a hint? It's from a game?
It's from a game. It's a popular game. Yeah, Chandler is playing Final Fantasy, but
Super Mario Brothers.
Nope.
It is kind of like a Koopa Troopa. We need more brown though. Or yellow.
I mean, yeah.
Wario.
No. Good guess though. Here, I'll pull up the reference image in just a second when I'm done with this layer. So I've now done like.
Do you have the physical reference image?
I have a digital reference image that's taken from the thing. That I can just pop up here in a sec. So I mixed a little bit more frostbite in for this layer, which is getting us to this sort of like really pale, not intense green. Hey, how's it going, Ben? This is Ben, right? I'm really bad at people's like.
Rest 7 is Ben.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right.
Well, I was gonna say, so somebody mentioned StarCraft. It does kind of look like Terran if you pick green in multiplayer. That's very specific.
That is very, very specific.
Well, I do love green multiplayer Terran. You know me.
It is good. Well, honestly, the best thing about playing Terran is you get the Terran music, which is like the best music in the game.
No. Yeah, Terran has a huge advantage in music. No one's arguing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for Brood War Radio Free Zerg. Oh yeah, the Magic the Gathering stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna remember that. There was no way.
Yeah, so this is based off of like a Selesnya knight, basically. Yeah, it's a Selesnya. I don't remember the exact name of the card. I just like Googled Selesnya Paladin or something like that. That's fair. Yeah, so Selesnya is like the green-white Ravnica guild. And I was like, this is going to look great for ISA because they're all paladins, and this is a scheme I haven't seen anybody do. Okay, so I'm going to show, because I'm gonna go into smoothing here, and I want people to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to get real nice and close and see if I can get this in focus. Yeah, nope, that's exposure. Focus. There we go. Okay, so this isn't particularly smooth. That's okay. I'm just going to glaze it real fast, and it will take care of like 85 to 90% of the problems. Let me just get this to a comfortable.
It's just green and white. Wow, you got called out.
Yeah, it's pretty much just green and white. I mean, but it's also got like bronze in it and some silver.
Well, I was gonna say, and it's interesting because it's got an almost monochrome feel to it, in that like the white is that kind of, it has a lot of green in it.
Yes.
Very kind of that greenish ivory sort of color.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the trick is having a scheme that's that like similar in values and making it actually look contrasty and different, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like pushing the contrast is going to be big, and making sure that each color is as different as you can make it is going to be big as well.
Like it can be done very, very well.
Yeah, and like none of these steps are particularly difficult. I've layered, and now I'm doing a tiny bit of glazing. And
yeah, the important thing is he's doing this scheme with the intent of me recreating it, which means it's got to be like pretty. I'm not a bad painter, but I'm not Jaden, so like it's got to be.
Yeah, and you're not willing to put in the like extra.
Yeah, I'm also I'm
minutes.
not gonna drop a million hours into everything. Yeah, I'm impatient. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was actually thinking about that, Loth, when I was doing up the Photoshop thumbnail that I did. I was like, this could use another color, and it could use another color real bad. And then I just decided that I was going to roll with it and see if it looked different on the model.
Yeah, you could swap the metals to bronze.
I could, but I kind of like the bronze as an accent color.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go into my third layer of highlights here because I'm kind of on a kick of I don't need more than three layers of paint on this or on anything. Oh, this is my bad brush. This is why everything sucks. Yeah, I was like, this is not putting the paint where I think it should be putting the paint. Turns out there's a reason for that. And I'm just going to probably like pick out the very tops of things now. Let's see, get this in focus. And I'm just going to sort of put this here. And this is actually like, so a big realization that I made over the last week and a half. I was working on like a super duper high level commission and also speed painting Eternus Continuum at the same time. And I was like, the only difference between these two things is that when I'm painting the Archangel, I'm trying to make it look exactly like something should be. And when I'm painting the Eternus Continuum, I'm just sort of like painting something that I think looks cool. And I don't really care if I get all the details exactly right or not. And so that's been kind of a nice realization that's like, I can just speed up by not getting every detail in the universe correct. Man, getting an angle on this thing for the camera to see is really annoying. This is going to take some practice to get good at doing this.
Yeah.
Are you on Okoye now, or are you still on Shuri?
Yeah. I just switched to a different box.
Yeah. Sabra, I've been doing all right, recovering from surgery, and, you know, we're having a baby in, like, less than a week.
Yeah, I was going to say, like imminently.
Yeah, imminently. So, there's a couple of ways you can do it. So the first thing I did is I found some concept art, and I traced it on my iPad in a program called Procreate. But you could have done this in Photoshop. And then this particular time, I did the whole mock-up in Procreate. And essentially what you do is you make a bunch of different layers for things, and you copy the outline to it a million times because Procreate doesn't do reference layer dumping. And then you like use the drop paint bucket option and fill everything in as fast as you can. Because, yeah, there's no reason to not. And then after that, that's distinctly possible, JP. But then after that, you just sort of like use the airbrush tool or the inking tool, depending on what kind of line value you want, and a reference layer, so that you can like basically not have to worry about hitting the other colors and paint on it and make the highlights and the shadows. It sounds really complicated, but if like you watched somebody do it, you go like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. It's just like a lot of procedural steps. Okay. I think, honestly, I'm probably going to leave the green about here for now, because I need to see what the rest of the model looks like without it being gray before I decide if I need to do any more like contrast or anything. Yeah, I mean, like, so it requires a bit of a program, like a program investment, but once you've got the program, it's quite easy to do, actually. I don't know.
There's There's free versions of Photoshop that can probably do what you need.
Yeah, like I think GIMP can probably do it, but I just haven't bothered to learn how.
Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't have any issues with that.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do the bronze. So here's the thing about the bronze. I tried like a metallic looking thing on a scrap model earlier, and I detested it. So I'm gonna do a non-metallic metal-ish look. But again, it's only gonna be 3 layers. I'm starting with Trader Green, which is the B3 paint.
Why is her skirt 6 pieces?
Because
Sculpted this.
Dallas Kemp wanted to reach out through the internet and say screw you, particularly to you, Brett. I don't know why he'd want to do that. Dallas is a pretty chill dude.
I think there's a very large learning curve with designing sprues. I saw it with Malifaux. I saw it with these models.
Yep. I agree. Gosh damn.
Malifaux is just like an adventure in new ways to interpret what a connection point on a model is. Like, this entire model can just sit on like a billionth of an inch little hair, right? And it'll balance fine. You're like,
oh my god, that is, yeah, the original Misaki. It's one of the first ones they did on a sprue. And yes, the whole model is balanced on our tippy toe.
Yeah.
Well, and there's what's his name, the guy with the Tetsubo, who's like smashing it into the ground.
Oh yeah. And
he was really bad for that too. They made a new version of him where he's just like standing like a normal person. But
yeah.
That's funny. Saber's at just about 50 soul stones at this point, Brett.
Oh, Malifaux?
Yeah.
They nerfed my master. Assholes.
Your patently broken master that you were bragging about how it busted the game in half when you started playing Malifaux? That
Look,
one?
I wanted to play a deck building game, and they wanted to play a tabletop war game. I don't understand. It's not my fault they didn't do the math.
No, it's not actually. It's not your fault at all. That's definitely on them. Yeah, actually, I'm super interested in the thermoplastics that Corvus Belli is working on right now too. If they're good and they work with injection molds that like metals can use, and they're good, Privateer Press should be like getting on that.
What's a thermoplastic?
So it's like a compromise between a high impact polystyrene and a resin.
Okay.
And apparently you can cast it in the same kinds of molds that you cast pewter in.
Oh wow, that's a huge savings.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's insane.
I know. Yeah, some of my local Infinity group I know has gotten some of the remotes in, and it looks like they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Like that's, God, whoever makes that whoever invented that earned like $1 billion.
Probably. Yeah. So like if it's as good as it looks like it probably will be, then I would imagine that Privateer Press would be absolutely shooting himself in the face.
Yeah, it'd be a crime to not do it because you just buy the patent and buy the materials. Yeah. You don't have to buy huge machines.
Right. And I mean they've got the mold making ability already. Like here's the thing.
Yeah.
If this works properly, they could convert the entire Warcaster line to plastic overnight.
That'd be so good.
Except for the vehicles, right?
But here's the thing: you can make a cast from that, right? Like, making a metal injection mold isn't so bad.
Yeah. Well, okay, but we also had fine cast, so maybe we shouldn't be too quick to jump on it.
Well, yeah, but from the demo videos I've seen, it's really quite good. It's quite flexible, but holds detail really well. It takes impact super duper well.
I assume it's light.
Yeah, it's comparable to high impact polystyrene, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would also be good news in general for wargaming because that means people can actually compete with GW.
Yeah, that would be a big deal.
Without having to have FFG money.
Loth, this is actually the second color. I haven't even done anything else, just green. But yes, the more colors you put on it, the better it's gonna look, I think.
What's that? Rainbow?
Woo!
Somewhere.
You've seen my.
Yeah. Oh man.
Sounds to me like you're on the road to brown. Just keep adding more colors.
I am in fact painting with sort of an off brown. Yeah, I'm doing the bronze right now. And by bronze, I mean like a bronzy color because I'm planning on doing a pseudo non-metallic metal with this because I think it'll look way better.
So to do non-metallic metal is just like how sharply you do the highlights. Is that how you do pseudo?
Yeah. So I'm gonna pretend I'm doing non-metallic metals, but I'm not really gonna do non-metallic metals.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like. It's really difficult to describe exactly how non-metallic metals are done because it varies from project to project.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
Yeah, it's part of why I'm finding tutorials that are like functional is such a pain in the ass. Because it's
constructive criticism.
mm-hmm.
Don't have your sprue connection points be the same as your model connection points.
Oof.
It's like a little pinning piece of plastic, but it was on the sprue, so I almost took it off.
Oh, well, that's lucky that you didn't. Which model is that?
Okoye.
It's Okoye. Yeah. The white will be quite a bit different from the primer, actually, Loth. It's going to be very like warm and creamy colored, and this primer is very, very cold.
No, this was her arms. I also imagine that any of these models will be destroyed by a light breeze.
Are you using super glue or plastic cement?
I'm using super glue like a fool.
Well, it won't be a light breeze. They're actually surprisingly durable. I have had...
Yeah, what about Angela?
Okay, so fun fact. My 2-year-old threw Angela at the wall as hard as he could at one point, and she survived.
Okay.
So, yeah, durability, not a big deal. Yeah, I should invest in some plastic cement, though, and I would advise it for you as well.
Yeah. Well, maybe I won't buy more models. Could happen.
You're funny.
I do like how that green looks with that, like, kind of brownish.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, huh?
Yeah.
It feels very wholesome, which is kind of the opposite of what these guys are, but there it is.
I imagine that when they're not blasting away low armor AC infantry, they're like running an orb.
I mean, okay, but here's the thing: is blasting AC infantry like actually a bad thing, or is that
actually? Yeah, right. See, that's a wholesome thing to do as well. So at the end of the day, they're just doing good stuff for everybody.
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. So for those of you that missed the like first minute and a half of the stream where I explained why I don't have his arm attached, it's blue tacked on, and that was holding it rather nicely, and I didn't feel like trying to paint his leg with the gigantic chain gun in the way. That sounded like bad time to me. So I'll paint it later. But yeah, I'm quite pleased, like, just even from base colors, this is starting to come together.
Oh, cool. That's probably Taylor's then. I went through my MCP box and I was like, I have an Okoye. I don't own one of those. So it probably is Taylor, the guy who works at our store.
Spontaneous generation.
Yeah. Some of the models that were in there just like asexually reproduced into an Okoye. I'm sure that's what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Ben, I do have one of your Marcher World Hunters, though. I know that that's yours. Like, it has.
Well, he's trying to
I've been using it as a Ret Ghost Sniper for some time now, actually.
That's great.
Jaden has my Ghost Snipers.
I do. I need to get them out of the isopropyl alcohol bath that they've been.
I was gonna say, are they not in like just straight toxic waste at this point? With
they
like
are, because
how hard the paint has been to get off.
So what I think actually happened, having had a look at it now, is that whoever painted them used enamel.
Oh God.
Yeah.
One of my friends bought a $5 Rhino on eBay,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "Oh, I'll just strip it." So he strips off the first layer of paint.
Oh no.
There's a whole other layer of paint, and so he scrubs that off, and then there's enamel paint under that.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
All right, that's disgusting. So what I've done now is I've mixed some pure white into the Trader Green, like maybe 50-50-ish, maybe slightly more Trader Green. And
You're on Saber.
I'm just gonna do some highlights. This might actually be too much of this. Yeah, this is too much of this. Okay, scrap that. We want like 70% Trader Green and about 30% white, and we're just going to go in with a layer. This is the only annoying thing I've been finding about layering as opposed to blending, is that if I want to do it and have a chance of having it look right, I have to do slightly less contrasty between layers things. Yeah. But it requires so much less work. That's incredible. Nice. Yeah, yeah, I stuck them in isopropyl alcohol about a week ago after 2 months in Purple Power didn't do anything. And I opened it a couple of days after to see like streams of like black goop coming off of them, so I think it's working. I may have to just put new bases on them because I'm pretty sure the isopropyl alcohol will melt the plastic, but whatever. I have so many.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point in all of our War Machine careers, we probably have about 1 million random bases lying around. Stuff.
Yeah, now that I'm done with the Archangel, that's my next thing is just get those solos all painted up, which will be okay.
All right, you weren't joking about this spear.
No, I ended up green stuffing the connection point.
Yeah, there's no universe where these match up.
Nope. You could try doing the heat trick, which is where you kind of like boil it for 10 seconds and then bend it a bit, but I don't know if that's too much work for you or not.
They're like full inch off.
What? Are you pointing your spear up or down?
Down.
Okay. Well.
Oh no, her wrist is broken. Okay, that's no problem.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and it's possible that like I may have accidentally cut off the wrist connector point because yeah, they were all like on the sprue really small.
That's so easy to do with MCP models. They have so many things that look like flash but are actually a part of the model or things like that.
Yeah, you have to inspect the instructions guide really closely because otherwise you may just accidentally clip something off wrong there. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, I think I can do it.
You got this, Brett.
There's gonna be a big old gap.
Yep, that's what I ended up with, and then I green stuffed a little bit, and it was fine. But if you don't want to green stuff it, then I don't know what to tell you. It's just kind of like what you're gonna have to do. Yeah, so once again, I'm doing 2 layers of this first highlight because I want it to be a little bit stronger than it was, and I'm just kind of derping around with it at this point. And then I'm going to go back in for a second one out of 3. Yeah, I like this scheme a lot. If I get ISA at some point, I will probably continue this. I gotta figure out a way to mount my webcam so that it's looking at approximately the angle I like to look at things when I'm painting. I wonder if I could do that right now.
Like over the shoulder?
Yeah, or like even just not straight down at it so I can like hold what I'm painting at an angle slightly a little bit. Yeah.
Just implant webcams directly into your retinas.
So I actually have webcam glasses, but they were made in the like early 2010s, and they're not nearly high resolution enough for this.
Well, and I can imagine that it's not really like stable enough to want to sit and watch a stream of that.
Probably not.
People's heads wiggle more than we realize.
Yeah.
Unless they're a chicken.
Yes. Are you a chicken?
No. I am sitting
okay,
ridiculously still because my headset unplugs if I move in the wrong way with my head. So, yeah. It's the hazards of, owning a plug-in headset when you have small boys that like to rampage through your office like bowls.
I did it.
I don't want to pull a Vecna. That sounds horrifyingly painful.
Okay, what about 2 Vecnas?
Nah, I'm good, thanks. I like not having
Demonic eye.
demonic things about me.
All right, so I like the new Dungeons and Dragons Magic set, but I swear to God, if I watch one more draft of that format, I'm going to rip out my eyes.
Why?
It is the worst draft format I've ever seen.
Oh, really? I really enjoyed the 2 sets of sealed I played with it, so I assumed it would be fun to draft.
Well, so all of the themes, like the 2-color themes, are just awful. You just ignore the themes and play the best cards. Yeah. Blue is just flat unplayable.
Oh. But I love blue.
Like all of the cool mechanics are just completely a waste of time. Like venturing, complete waste of time. Dice rolling, complete waste of time.
That's unfortunate. That wasn't my impression from the couple of sealeds that I played, but I believe you because I'm not really tuned into the Magic world anymore.
But it has a gelatinous cube, and that's all I care about.
That's true. It does. And it also has Drizzed in it, so at some point I'm just going to buy one of the really pretty versions, like foil, and put that in a sleeve and put that on my desk to look at.
Gelatinous cube is the ultimate dungeon Roomba.
Night, JP. That's certainly a way to put that.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
But he's out of line, but he's right.
There's a thing on Twitter I saw where somebody was like, as a DM, if you really, really want to terrify your players, give a gelatinous cube a 60-foot move speed and the ability to dash as a bonus action.
Oh my gosh.
That's like, my God, it's the fastest gelatinous cube ever. Because normally they have a move speed of like 10 feet. So they're like, you just walk away from them. They're not really that scary. The main issue with them is if you walk into them because they're nearly invisible.
Right. All right. So I am now at like 70 or 80% white, and I'm kind of like edge highlighting some things and then putting some strong highlights in like the very center of some of the masses of things, and just sort of making stuff look bright in spots. If I wanted to go like true non-metallic metal, what I would do then is I would go pure white and I would do some really small highlights on things, but I really don't think I want to do that, and I really don't think Chandler wants to do that, so I'm not going to do that.
It's fair.
But this is like, I also would have started with a darker color, but this is kind of like what non-metallic metal is like. I am actually doing non-metallic metal-ish on the these like circular disc thingies because that's the only way I can think to make them look good. So I've just sort of made those like double triangles with the highlights.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad.
No, it's not. And I just did it up over like the 3 layers of highlights, getting smaller and smaller every time.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I also bought Monpok models. I got Gazamel, the dragon guy. His model is nonsense, and I love it.
I think I have one of those that I would have just sent you.
Oh, well, I should have asked you.
Yeah. It's okay. Do you need anything else? I have a bunch of random stuff sitting around right now.
Well, I guess I'll go through your inventory.
Sure. I am tempted to keep my Cassian or whatever, Cassander.
I don't really want any of the monsters at this point.
Yeah. I just think Cassander looks cool.
I mean, I want an elemental starter, but...
Yeah, I don't have one of those. It's not one of the things that I have randomly just been given.
Is the oh, this is ahead a little bit, but so you've got in the scheme there's some silvers.
Yep.
Are those? Is that going to be another kind of non-metallic thing?
So I haven't decided actually. I think you could probably do it with metallics and it'd look fine. What would you like me to try? Because I'm happy to try it either way.
I don't know.
Like,
try the easy way first, and then go, oh no, and paint over it.
The perfect plan.
That's fair. I mean, you've seen how long this brassy stuff took, right? It was like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. It's not too bad. And I'm mostly just screwing around and talking and not focusing on it all the way.
Yeah.
And it's practically done now. I think it looks pretty decent. It's not like...
Yeah, I mean, if I'm basically given a, like, here's exactly the colors to use, I could probably pull off a non-metallic that's pretty basic.
Yeah.
My problem is that I have no capacity to intuit that whatsoever. Like, I just cannot mentally break down colors in that way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like, it's hard.
Yeah,
if you just
so
do,
that's
like,
always...
white and black and gray, it doesn't look right.
Right, and so, like, that's always the problem I have when I'm looking up, like, how to do non-metallic metals. It's always like, well, it depends a lot. Like, that's always kind of what every tutorial is. It's like,
right.
kind of want this, but, like, yeah.
Yeah. So if you look up the thumbnail that I've got there, there's, like, a bunch of colors of gray. And
yeah.
So it starts with, I think we're going to start with Crick's Bane base, and then Greatcoat Gray on top of that, and then Troll or Crick's Bane highlight, maybe on top of that, and then I think like Minoth White highlight, or maybe Minoth White base, maybe probably Minoth White highlight. I don't know, and it's probably like I need to add white to all of these things to make them look properly or look right. But it was interesting to me because when I was breaking it down, the color scheme ended up being that the brightest color was like the same amount of luminosity as the second brightest color. It just also happened to be yellow, and the rest of them were like blue, which I thought was kind of cool. Because like I knew that was a thing, I just never actually like think about it, and so I was like, oh yeah, I should pay a lot more attention to my stuff. Sorry, I'm rooting around looking for another paint here. So I'm gonna do the creams next. I'm gonna call the brass largely done there. I could spend another 15 minutes smoothing this out, probably. Maybe not even that long, like 5. I might do that, but I'll do it off camera. Oh, but you know what I did miss? I need to put an edge highlight right here. That was too big of an edge highlight, so let's make that smaller.
I guess I should break out my wet palette for the 10 models I'm going to paint.
I mean, wet palettes make everything easier, so yeah. It's very worth it in my opinion.
I have one. It's just sitting there. It's wrapping right below my table.
Yeah. Man, maybe I need to do what Dallas does and just like put a mic stand with some blue tack on it here, so that I never have to worry about if something's in focus or centered on the camera or not. Because I keep just barely getting it out of like where it should be, and it's really irritating. All right, creams. So we're gonna start with Minoth White base. We're gonna highlight it with Minoth White highlight, and maybe we'll do some edge lights with pure white, and that'll be it, because it seems like the thing to do.
Manoth Whites are so good.
Yeah.
I haven't had a pot of them for a little while, and it's
Yeah. Like, Menoth White, base and highlight, Coal Black, Umbral Umber, and like Greatcoat Gray, I think, are like the paints that Privateer Press does that I think are so good that no other company really does.
Yeah. Just this really perfect off-white with like the exact right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. Okay, so we may have a flaw in my plan here. I'm not entirely certain if that's true, but we're going to find out in a moment. The flaw might be that the brass doesn't go dark enough. And so these...
So that the cream's going to look really similar.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
To the high.
Yeah, it's possible that it's fine, but you know, we'll find out. Glazing ink is really cool. I need to use it more. I just don't use inks very often. But I have used it a couple of times, and mixing it with like red paint and yellow paint lets you do some really interesting things. I've also used it over some metallics a couple of times.
Is Glazing ink like just white ink or?
No, it's orange.
Orange, okay.
It's a really cool color. It's like the more of it there is, the more orange it is, but the less of it is there is, it's kind of yellowy.
Oh, so it's perfect for fire and probably what they used for ISA.
Yeah. I think it was most likely. It's a really cool ink. It's like it's almost like a contrast paint.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I love their green ink. I like that one a lot.
Oh yeah, that's just really fascinating too. Because if you pile it on there, you get like a bluey green, and if you don't, you get like a proper true green.
Yeah, I just love it. Makes it look like this weird magical glow really well. It's a really unique color.
Yeah. Well, and especially because like if you put the ink over like yellow, you just get this insanely vivid, bright, greenish, yellowy wonderfulness.
Well, I know what I'm painting my She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing you could do.
That'd be cool.
I had such a problem with the Hulks. I did like so. Here's my thing. I usually paint like half of a model at a time so that I can try out stuff and see what I like and what I don't like about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I painted the Hulk's right side in a fit of creative genius at like 12:30 a.m.
Uh-oh.
And then I couldn't recreate it, and I was so angry. So like if you compare the two, the right side is significantly better looking than the left side.
That's so funny.
I know. I'm really sad about it.
I also love that you just didn't finish that night.
Well, he's a big model, and I was tired, and I was like, okay, I got a lot done. I think I can do this again, and I'm going to bed. And then I went to bed, and I couldn't do it again.
So I'm changing the story so that the color scheme came to you in a dream.
Sure. Life according to Brett. Okay. So, I think that this white or this cream is sufficiently different than the bronze or brass or whatever we're going to call what I was doing that it's probably okay. I'm not sure. So here's the other annoying thing about cream is that even though Menoth White base is a beautiful and wonderful color, it still takes like at least 2 coats to get a smooth base coat on.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind doing because there's enough of it that I just finish the first coat and I'll do it again, but it is one of the downsides.
I mean, that's any white that's not a primer, right?
Yeah, effectively. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. We'll clean that up later. This is one of the other reasons that I really like to sort of like plan a whole scheme, but then only paint sections of color at a time, because then I can clean up whatever I screwed up later, and I know where to be really careful around, because there's parts of it that are definitely like done or effectively done, and I don't have to worry about the rest, like the primed parts, because I'm just like, whatever, I'll fix you later. Nobody cares about you yet. My minis and I have I don't know, Chris. I just, you can go back and watch the whole thing. I did it all on camera in front of like 10 whole people.
Oh my! The instructions are wrong.
Oh, which one is this?
She-Hulk has the wrong number.
Yeah, sometimes they get the
Oh
number
yes,
wrong.
that happens like oddly often. It's really
It happens a fair bit in GW models too.
yes.
Actually.
GW has that problem a lot. They'll like flip numbers. Like it'll be like 42 will actually be 24 and stuff like that. You're just like, what? Really?
Yeah.
I've spent so long looking for models on a sprue that don't exist.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, at a certain point I stop actually looking at the number and I start looking at what the thing looks like.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Just like, all right, whatever. All right. So here's my conclusion. This cream is slightly too close to the highlight on the brass, which tells me that I have to do one of two things. Well, actually, I probably have to do two things. Which is annoying because this was going so well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a desaturated, like darker green than the Trader green, and I'm just gonna glaze a little bit of that on there in the shadows or like in the darker bits and see if that fixes the problem, which it might. And if that doesn't, I'm just gonna take some like white, pure white, and just sort of like gently streak it on, like streak it and dot it on some spots and see if that does the trick. And if it doesn't, then I'm gonna be so sad, and I'll think of something else to do with it. And maybe the answer is it has to be metallic brass. Like that might honestly be what it has to be.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try not to do that because I spent a long time. This is too brown or too red, actually. Actually, would that be? That might be about right. Okay, well, we're going to try it. So this is Battlefield Brown. It's kind of a dullish brownish color. And we're going to put some of this on the palette. How do you look next to that? Oh, that's actually not bad at all. Okay, we're going to give this a try. No. Chaos Knights give no cares about Death Guard shenanigans, except for the stupid toughness reducing aura. Screw that thing. Alright, let's get this nicely in focus. Let's do some glazing here and see if we can't make this look more like we want it to. Get darker. Get darker. Get darker. Sometimes talking to your models as you're painting them helps. The paint does more what you want when you tell it what to do in addition to doing it.
It's like LaCroix. It's water with someone yelling the word raspberry in the nearby room.
And delicious flavors like sat next to a strawberry once.
Oh man, my younger brother loves LaCroix, and we love to tease him. My favorite one that I've come up with is LaCroix is water that's bottled in a factory right next to a whole bunch of people singing songs about whatever fruit at the time is being put into them.
Yep.
Okay. That didn't do enough. So, different plan. Let's try some pure white, and let's see if I can just sort of like speckle this on here and make it look right-ish. Well, that definitely makes it look different. I'm not sure if that actually improved it.
We have achieved not the same.
Yeah, and like maybe that's all it needs to be. Or maybe I just need to bite the bullet and actually like cop to the fact that we're going to be using metallics on this, as much as I hate that idea, because I hate metallics.
You don't have to do it. Chandler will do it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But the point was I was going to try and make this easy enough for anybody to do it. So if it has to be metallics to make this work, maybe that's fine. Let's see. How do we... Okay, I'm going to highlight the Mouth White base and see what that does. And if that fixes it, maybe that's fine. Oh, you don't shoot plasma decimators at poxwalkers. You shoot lightning locks at poxwalkers.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do rusted metal.
Oh, that's easy. I have a tutorial for that somewhere.
Cool.
All right. Mixing some Mouth White highlight into Mouth White base, and we're just gonna do this. Overkill is only the best kill when you're killing something that's really important to overkill. I don't really care about poxwalkers most of the time when I'm playing Chaos Knights. Chandler, are you excited about Thousand Sun stuff?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Chandler's the reason I own Thousand Suns, so it would be weird if he wasn't. I mean, I imagine we're gonna know like all the rules in the next.
Within a couple days. Usually a lot of the like review people like Goonhammer, Mini Wargaming, and like Guerrilla Miniatures, they'll have a full book, and we'll go over it basically in its entirety about the day that pre-orders go live.
So that's Saturday. So they'll probably have those up like Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night, Saturday, maybe Monday. It depends. It varies a little sometimes, but they're usually pretty good about it. My favorite is I usually go to Gorilla. Ash just reads the book basically. So like
that's funny.
That's content. Yep. We need to get in that racket. It's just read your book.
Don't get me started.
I mean, the painting stream I did last week, I was told that I should just read character fluff and we could call this ASMR and put it up on YouTube as an ASMR channel.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cheaper than I was expecting.
What is?
The hex box is only $170.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah, that's how much.
I was expecting $200, honestly. Okay, so as I have highlighted the cream up, something really interesting has happened, which I did not expect. The darks that already existed in the off bronzy color kind of contrast enough to make it look different enough from the cream that you're like, this is a different material. Chris, how can you drop more money on the Warcaster New Mechanica Kickstarter? Because isn't it over?
I mean, they'll have the back. You can have stuff
right.
to...
That's fair. I am trying so hard not to love the new Imperium unit or squad because it just looks so cool. Okay. All right, so that's the cream. Like, I'm just going to call that done. All right, here's what I'm actually going to do because I'm curious if this is enough. I'm going to go in with the Trader Green again, and I'm just going to glaze some of that on there because I think if I... Oh, you know what? Trader Green mixed with a teeny bit of black. Maybe that's what I need. Okay, so maybe you have to start with the Trader Green mixed with a little bit of black. ISA Hammer Squad does look dope. I cannot argue with that at all. Okay. Let's see if this worked.
I think the AC stuff is very cool. The Imperial stuff's very cool. ISA's aesthetic for Kickstarter 3 is
all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I mean probably. I really like the look of it, but that's part of what I got. Why I got it's kind of like just a more extreme version of why I liked ISA in the first place, like aesthetically.
Right.
I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't look at how any of the models looked.
Yeah, I was mostly talking aesthetics. Power level, that's a different conversation. But
Yeah.
I do think the
they have like a robot squad, right?
I say, yeah, they got they're like little flying bots. They're very cool. The thing that I like about them that I think is a really big deal for the faction is that they're fast.
Right.
They're like speed 8 or something. They're very quick.
Yeah. I was looking at the Empyrean like squad. First of all, it's DC3, which is just like what? And then they're speed 7, and they have a slip displacer built into them as a spike. So like I calculated it out, and the two models that aren't the original place model can go 15 inches, I think.
Yeah.
And they have the usual Empyrean garbage of you just charge whenever you get targeted by a cipher.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's distinct enough because it actually goes dark to be different enough that I'm going to call that good. Yeah, it's probably fine. Like, I'm not insanely thrilled with it, but it's okay. All right.
There's something to be said from going from MCP models to Azazello.
Oh yeah.
He's just 2 pieces.
Yeah. No, for sure. This dude was only 4 pieces. I was very surprised. All right.
Yeah, the Siegebreaker model is nuts. It's so good. It's so easy to work with.
It is one of the most incredibly well engineered and designed models that I've worked with. I'm just gonna paint. I'm gonna try the non-metallic metal option for the armor and see if I hate my life afterwards, and see if it's just the worst.
Yeah.
But I feel like that fits the aesthetic that the rest of this piece has already. And if it looks awful, I will probably just redo all of the brassy stuff in actual brass and just accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I held some of mine in the tips of my snips a couple of times, Chris, when I was building.
Yeah, I think Malifaux miniatures are the first ones I've ever actually been like, well, I need tweezers to put this model together.
Yeah, Malifaux was something completely else.
So they made an RPG line for Malifaux.
Yeah.
And they came with a bunch of like generic models. But the interesting thing is their tournament rules allow you to play anything made by Weird as a model. So I made a whole outlaw army out of those generic RPG models.
Oh, there you
go. That's funny.
Were they like significantly cheaper?
I already had them.
Oh, there you go.
And so yeah, there's a lot of like bending and twisting and like that looks like a bag.
I have not been. I have a pair of second hands, which is basically like a magnifying glass with 2 grip things attached to it that can hold pieces for you. They can each hold like 2 pounds or something like that. I don't use them very often, and I usually kind of regret it when I get it out. But there's been an occasional piece here and there where it's like, okay, I gotta get this to stay. It's going to take 5-6 minutes to set. I don't have 5-6 minutes to sit here.
That was actually when I first assembled my first Death Jack back in the day. I had Virgo. I had one of those holding him up because I was just like, I don't want to sit and hold these together because this thing's spiky and it hurts my fingers.
Yeah. Like, I love you, Death Archon, but oh my god.
Yeah.
Why is everything on you made of spikes?
Yeah, that was an interesting one to build and paint. When I started the game, I started with Crix, and one of the first models I built was Terminus, which as an amateur model assembler was not fun.
Yeah, I mean, Death Jack was like one of my first models ever.
Yeah. what I ended up doing is I got the flu, and I was so bored sitting in my apartment on campus that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get a Netflix trial because Netflix streaming was actually pretty new at that point. And so I got a Netflix trial, and I sat on the couch and I held his wings in place as best I could for 30 minutes while I watched something, and that's how I built him. It was an experience. Okay. So I'm probably gonna finish base coating these metals or these theoretical silver metals and call it probably good for the evening. We're coming up on the 90-minute mark, which is I think about the sweet spot for one of these streams.
Ah!
What'd you do?
But speaking of holding metal pieces in place,
Oh. Which model this time?
it's still a Death Archon.
It's still the Death Archon.
Well, I'm doing something stupid. I'm moving his scythe so it's pointing up instead of down.
They always point up, Brett.
No, I meant he's kind of holding it behind his back in the correct pose.
Oh.
Now he's kind of holding it level with the ground.
Okay.
I just like posing them slightly differently.
That's fair.
But yes, I did refuse to do the scythes facing the cool way rather than the correct way.
I did one of each because I wrote a model review for them when I did them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what I have left. Oh, I got Miles. I got Widow. I'm going to do Peter Parker so I can break him upon Venom. Seems like the best use of that model.
That's fair. Offer still open. If you don't want Peter, I'll take him. Though.
Oh no, I'm going to kill him.
Okay, fair enough.
That's already done.
Oh, that's already done.
Well, I mean, I don't get Venom until tomorrow, but other than that, it's done.
That's nice. That's fair. I'm impressed
Okay,
that you were
so-
able to find a Venom. For a very long time when I started playing, they were just not findable online anywhere.
I mean, I paid $5 more than MSRP.
Oh, well, there you go. So, what? You're gonna ask a question?
So, okay, what were you saying about basing? You said that most people put them on the sidewalk?
Yeah, most people paint their models like they're on the sidewalk because that's how the box arts are.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, that's a really good scheme.
and I didn't do that.
So if I avoid all these manhole covers, maybe I can do like a spaceship base.
You could do that, yeah. I mean, so like to be perfectly honest, to get rid of the manhole covers would take like approximately 2 minutes with some green stuff.
Sure. But I mean, I'm just picking all the bases that don't have one.
Oh, that's true. That is correct. Venom was your gateway into Marvel Crisis Protocol. And Carnage comes out later this month. I'm so excited. I like Carnage a lot.
To figure out how to get Amazing Spider-Man on a release date.
Yeah.
'Cause I need them painted before I move in 10 days after he comes out.
My advice is to get a hold of Peyton because he and his dad have come through for me really consistently, getting me things like within a day or two of release.
Okay. I may use that connection.
Should throw some business their way. Yeah, they are who I plan to order Amazing Spider-Man and Carnage from when they come out. So.
What else is coming out that day? Is Blade coming out that day too?
No, Blade is coming out next Friday.
Okay.
And everywhere else in the world except for here, Dormammu is also coming out next Friday.
Sure. But trains.
What?
I thought trains were the problem.
Maybe, I don't know. At this point, we don't actually have a reason for why Dormammu is going to be late.
Okay.
We just know that he is. And there's a real possibility that I'll be ordering him from Canada.
Wait, I'm supposed to hate Dormammu and everything he represents.
Are you? Why?
Well, that's what the competitive players are saying.
Oh, are they?
I don't know. I saw JP complaining.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I have opinions about the competitive scene for this game, and I'm not going to talk about them.
Well, I know what we're doing in the aftercast.
That's fair. Man, how do I manage to miss things like this? This is the worst part. Is like I go slow, I paint like inside the lines, and it's just like, oh, that part's supposed to be insert X color that I already painted all of and highlighted and did all the other things for, and just missed. This happens a lot less when I don't zenithal prime something, because it's obvious then, because it's like, oh, that's black. That's supposed to be a different color. But all right. So what still needs to be done on this model is I still need to figure out the non-metallic metal-ish bits. Oh, look, there's another spot I didn't paint. And then I need to do the glows, which I'm not entirely sure what color they're going to be yet. I have a color mapped out. I don't love it. I'll probably go to something else.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of maybe needs to be something that contrasts more with the rest of it.
Yeah, it might be like yellow. Or orange. Nah, not orange. Probably yellow. So like a very bright yellow. And then I still need to paint the rest, like his entire gun arm, which I will do probably off camera. I'll get caught up to this point. But like that was an hour and probably actually 10 minutes of painting. And you know, he's like 60% done. And I like this scheme a lot, actually. I think it looks really fun. So yeah, I will probably hold off on finishing this until next week's stream, assuming that there is a stream next week. Pinks, that'd be pretty cool. Pink ISA glow, I'm a fan. But with that, I think we're gonna bid everybody a fond farewell and finish off this episode of Pillars of Paint. Thank you so much for everybody who's been hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. And we'll be back soon, I hope.
This is kind of a new format, right? So let us know what you think of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know there's like a lot of things that I need to fix on my end, technically, like webcam positioning and stuff. But yeah. All right. Night, everybody. Talk to you later.